what you made me do. Look what I made for you.
His name is
Old Man Wayne. I live by the funk. I die by the funk. Old Man Wayne. Old Man.
I'm about to do something terrible.
Old Man Wayne. Old Man. Old Man.
Nope, not doing this. We're not doing this.
Ha ha. Point. Old man. Old man. Old man. Old man.
Fucking screen, I get upset.
Say it again.
Well, what happened?
I said I hate fucking Jon Moxley. He's fucking trash. Every fucking match, he's bleeding for no reason, doing hardcore, stupid fucking shit on TV that people don't want to fucking see. Garbage.
Yo, Dean Ambrose used to be my guy.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose wasn't getting skewers stuck in his fucking head on WWE TV.
I'm assuming this is wrestling.
Yeah, I started the conversation before you hopped on, and I'm just like,
Actual skewers, not a joke.
Yeah, what is? Man, what's this ECW nigga? Like, damn.
essentially, it's essentially what it is.
But then there's other people on the show that I really love. Ricky Starks is fucking amazing, incredible. They got a lot of young black talent that's good. So it's a hit and miss. It's one of those shows that's hit and miss. I hate the Young Bucks; they suck. But
As an observer, as an observer of wrestling that knows nothing at all was going on, I have to say I've seen a lot of black faces associated with the different organizations, and I don't know if that's something new. I think I honestly remember a lot of the black wrestlers growing up, but it just seems like there's more of a highlight, especially like the women, a lot of women of color.
Yeah, it's a lot of black wrestlers. This black Willow Nightingale for AEW is amazing.
Yo, she's a powerhouse. I love me some Willow Ryder.
AEW is such a hit and miss thing. Like for me, it's like parts of the show. Well, Collision, which comes on Saturday, is fucking great. Every time I watch it, it's just amazing. But that's CM Punk's show, so he doesn't do any of that stupid shit. The Young Bucks aren't on there. None of the stupid shit is on there. So it's like a actual good television show with stories and promos, and it's fucking great. And then Dynamite on Wednesdays is often full of dumb shit, except when MJF is on the screen, and the rest of the show is fucking stupid. MJF is probably the second, like behind Roman Reigns. Like he's the best wrestler out there. Like him and Gunther are tied for second for me.
I can't.
MJF is fucking great.
I can't wait until Gunther's world champion. That dude is gonna be a fucking menace. Yo, Javi.
Anytime you say good, I think Lederhosen.
You should.
Okay.
Gunther.
That tracks.
Yo, let me tell you, you think those Ric Flair chops or something? Dog, this dude will hit you. They sound like if you took a pack of those like poppers you throw at the floor as kids. If you just made like one big one and threw it at somebody's chest, that's what it sounds like.
Gunther.
And I love how Samantha says his name. Gunther.
She's gonna kill her voice. She keeps doing that fucking voice for a long time. Her voice is gonna die.
I mean, she's doing it like what? 4 or 5 times a week, and only.
Yeah, that's a lot.
This is only 4 or 5 a week. Like that's not a freaking full-time job.
Well, it's not like she's doing it every second, every day. So she's probably saying it going to like 10 seconds every 10 minutes, maybe. And that 10 seconds is kind of pushing it. And it's not like she's going every like with everything. Sometimes it's subtle. Like my favorite is the what the hell is her name? Kelsey Green. She says everybody's voice
tonight, actually.
Huh?
I think it's a pay-per-view tonight.
Yep, WWE Payback. WWE Payback.
Tomorrow night for AEW.
Wonder which one's going to do better.
Well, WWE is going to do better because AEW just had their big fucking show last week, the biggest wrestling show in history, which is kind of amazing that happened for AEW and not like The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin or anything like that. Hulk Hogan. AEW sold 81,000 tickets legitimately.
God damn.
Yeah, like in London, right?
Yeah, Wembley Stadium. It's the biggest. It's the most tickets sold for a wrestling event ever.
I wonder if this is a trend because this is unrelated but related at the same time. Recently, forgot the name of the college. One of y'all can Google it if y'all want.
So that's wrong.
Yeah, Nebraska.
So that's wrong. WrestleMania 40 topped the all-time record with 26. Oh wait, I got that wrong. Hold on.
Yeah, that's a lower number. But I was gonna say Nebraska's volleyball team just had like over 90,000 people in attendance, and it was the largest. It was the most in attendance for a female sports, a female sport ever. So I wonder if we're seeing a trend of people like actually going out and buying these tickets. And
oh yeah, this is definitely wrong. Yeah,
they're 5-time national champions.
WWE holds a record with 90,000 plus tickets sold.
No, they didn't sell 90,000 tickets. That's a lie. That's a number that Vince made up for WrestleMania 3.
So it's not WrestleMania. So okay, let me ask you a question. So you're telling me one person can lie, but the other person can't?
Vince McMahon's always lying.
AEW didn't do the tickets. The ticket people confirmed the number. WWE makes up their numbers. They even admit it in their stock. When they do their stock calls, because they're a public company, they have to do the real numbers, and so they always tell a different number than what they announce. But for some reason, like the people like Wikipedia and stuff keeps like a number that they actually announce. But like their biggest, like WrestleMania 3 is not their biggest one. It was a couple years ago in Dallas, whatever it is. WrestleMania 39 or 40, something like that, was their actually biggest one. And they end up selling like 72,000 tickets or something like that. And but what WWE does, which is funny, is they count.
It was WrestleMania 38, 78, 60, 363.
Yeah, 78. That's their biggest one ever. Because what they actually do when they announce the number is that sometimes they just make up a number. And then other times they count everyone in the building. Like wrestlers, cameramen, mic people, security people. They just count everyone in the building and they say, like, this is how many people's here. And so the AEW number.
That's not a lie. They're saying people in attendance.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they also count.
Am I wrong? It's people in attendance.
And they count comp tickets. So the AEW number was just tickets sold. They didn't even count comp tickets or wrestlers or camera people or anything like that.
That's insane.
Which,
and I'm glad
which is kind of absurd.
I love that. What's her name? Saya got her world title, won her world title in like her home country.
Oh, Saraya.
That was super dope that she won the world title in her home country.
Yeah, and that shows a microcosm of AEW. Part of that show was excellent. CM Punk Samoa Joe match was excellent. The MJF Adam Cole thing was good. The Saraya match was pretty good. Like they had some good matches, and then they had the fucking John Moxley, fucking 17 people bleeding, taping your hand with glass and punching people and sticking skewers in your fucking head, stabbing people with a fucking fork. Bullshit. I literally stopped watching the show then. I fucking got on my phone and started. I'm not watching this shit. Turn that shit. I came back and it's funny. I came back like 12 minutes later, 15 minutes later, that shit was still going on. And one of the fucking people in the match changed their fucking outfit. I said, what the fuck happened? And I looked on Twitter. And apparently he like fell off a fucking ladder or something, like he was dead. And then later in the match, his music hits. And because it's Penta, right? And so Penta has two names. It's like Penta El Cerro, right? And that's like the fun-loving Penta. And then he has Penta Oscuro, who's like this hardcore fucking demon person. So he came out in his black outfit. And then in the middle of the match, he comes back out with his music and it's Penta Oscuro in all red. And he immediately tries to climb up a ladder. The fucking ladder legs break. They break, so he can't even climb the ladder. So they have to help him up to the top of the ladder so he can do his spot on the ladder through a table. It was so trash. I hated it. I hated every second of it.
Damn it, Wade!
Javi finally saw The Flash.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I got to relive this? Damn, I should have read the doc.
Yo, I'm going to say this. I'm in the minority here. The Flash wasn't good. It was not a good movie. It was under average. So if 5 is average, if 5.5 is average, I'd give Flash a 5. And only because the first 20 or 30 minutes of that movie was just unwatchable garbage. But it got better after that. But just trying to get through those first 30 minutes, I'm like, yo, I'm glad I didn't spend money for that. Like that movie, the first 30 minutes of that was just fucking awful. But it did get good. Sasha Kaye was great. Michael Keaton was great. Seeing the Flash, Barry Allen's character kind of evolve a little bit, seeing him like, oh my God, I am this annoying prick. Maybe I should, you know what I mean? Seeing him mature was great. His alternate version becoming evil was kind of cool. But this goes to the point that both Brandon and Javi have made over and over again that the DCEU is a fucking menace. There is so much. It's like they accumulated everything that was wrong with the DCEU and then put it into Shazam 2 and The Flash.
Bro.
Well, those movies they didn't give a shit about. They just had to put them out there because they paid so much for them. Because if you watch the last two movies that I actually count is Suicide Squad and Blue Beetle, and both of those were very good movies. Very good movies. Blue Beetle's the best movie they've done.
Wow.
And so I have confidence going forward. I don't know what the fuck to think about this Aquaman shit, but I really have no idea.
I think you just said it right there. It's gonna be shit. Like, I have zero faith in that movie. Like I think that is just gonna be a huge piece of shit. Like
after Aquaman, I got faith.
I was more curious. This is one of the reasons why The Flash was horrible, because it has knock-on effects, right? Like I almost don't want to watch Blue Beetle. Like I know Blue Beetle is awesome, but I almost don't want to watch Blue Beetle because I feel offended that they like, right. And then that the last stinger, the post-credit scene with Aquaman. What was that? Like what was that setting up?
It was nothing.
Yeah.
I don't even.
And I feel like that's gonna be Aquaman.
If that's Aquaman, then like fine, but like it's gonna be like I just have no faith in this new Aquaman, and I love Jason Momoa, but this movie is going to be absolute trash.
Blue Beetle was fucking awesome. Like that movie, man. Like I knew it was going to be good though because it was supposed to be on HBO Max. And James Gunn saw the movie and said, "We need to give this movie $20 million more and put it on the big screen." That tells me he saw the movie and was like, "This shit is good," and it was actually very, very, very good.
I can't wait. I'm hoping that James Gunn. I've heard nothing but good things about this movie, and it's rare that, especially with a comic book flick, it's rare that happens for me. So I'm hoping that they keep the gentleman who plays Blue Beetle, and I hope that he's still playing. I'm actually looking up the cast now. Gentleman's name is Zolo Maraduena. If I apologize,
he's from Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai never die. Never seen that.
You never seen Cobra Kai?
Never seen Cobra Kai.
Oh man, all right. You like corny things. You like good. You like corny things that are actually good, so you would love it.
That's what I've heard. I saw one fight that the main character had at the end of last season when he was fighting some dude that was fucking with him, but he was drunk. And I was like, this, and like and Brandon will understand this, like telling a story in a fight. And I was like, they told a damn good story. Like I didn't need to know anything going on to know that there was like real animosity going on there.
And I'm pretty sure Blue Beetle is a great movie, and I'm gonna see it and all this other stuff. But look at the box office return for the movie. Like the word of mouth. Usually, when word of mouth is this good for a nerd-based movie, a comic book movie, those numbers skyrocket, right? Like I think Black Panther, the first Black Panther, that $1 billion, a lot of that came out of word of mouth, bro. Like thinking about it. Like it was like a cultural thing, right? And when I hear about Blue Beetle, I hear it's good, right? But I'm also hearing people say like, "Oh, like we can't trust the DCU." Yeah, like word of mouth carries these movies. Like these movies that have, B or C tier comic book heroes that, like, unless you're a fan of the genre, you don't really know about. they depend heavily on word of mouth. And the fact that, this movie's so good, yet it's struggling to, break even is indicative of what the previous DCE movies, especially Flash, especially Shazam 2, did to their reputation. And it sucks because as fans, bro, I think we deserve to have like DC movies that we can really enjoy. But I mean, I'm hoping that the studio is brave enough, even if this doesn't make $1 billion, to still move on, still carry, still allow James Gunn to do what he has to do. Especially since James Gunn didn't direct this, he still has, we're still waiting for his universe to kind of kick in. But I'm hoping that the horribleness that was DCU in the past doesn't have the knock-on effect that I think is going to have moving forward, bro. Because as much as I love the MCU, I would hate for the MCU to be the only serious comic book franchise that we have in the theaters. You know what I mean? And we really can't blame anybody but horrible management, horrible production, horrible direction, horrible writing, great casting.
But yeah, and as y'all have said, like it's never like the issue is never the casting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They gotta come out. Warner Brothers and James Gunn has to come out in some type of public forum and make it clear to people that this shit is starting over and that it's a new person in charge. And so people can give them a chance. Because they're not gonna give them a chance if they think it's still the old universe. They gotta make that shit clear. They're trying to play it both ways a little bit. Like Suicide Squad was a half reboot, not a whole reboot. They try to even though it was very good, they need to make that shit clear so people can trust them again. Because there's no way people are trusting them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No argument here at all. We've been gone for a while, and I'm mad we haven't actually discussed this, but we're going to talk about it now. The Hellfire Gala was a game changer for Marvel Comics.
Bro.
For those of you who don't know, during the Hellfire Gala has been the 3 years running. The mutant government of Krakoa have put together a gala, as it says in the name, and during this time, they invite celebrities, diplomats, politicians, heroes, villains, and they bring them over to Krakoa for an event. And also during this time, they announced the new roster for the X-Men.
And they usually introduce some new mutant technology that they're going to introduce to the world or something. I think Forge was building, he had some new building materials that was going to change the way, it was going to end homelessness.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. I'm actually looking at it right now. That's exactly what it was, Javi. And he had this whole plan. He had schematics to all this. Something else that before we get into that, because I'm actually at the comic book open now. The first thing that we see is Kamala Khan was brought back to life after she died in Amazing Spider-Man 26. We find out that not only is she Inhuman, but she's a mutant. She is the first mutant Inhuman in Marvel Comics history. And for those you don't know, and you can give this a Google to fact check me, even though I'm right, the original creators of Ms. Marvel wanted Kamala Khan to be a mutant, but due to the Fox 20th Century Fox BS, they had to make her an Inhuman because they wanted the Inhumans to replace the mutants. That didn't work out because the Inhumans spent and I've said this on dozens of podcasts, the Inhumans spent 60 years of their existence getting their ass whooped by the Fantastic Four. Why would anybody put any faith in them?
Except for Infinity. That was the only time.
Yeah.
When Black Bolt went to space and he fought Vulcan and he was they broke the fucking space-time continuum or whatever.
That wasn't Infinity. That was War of Kings.
War of Kings, yeah. That was the only
Infinity
time humans were cool.
Yeah. Right after that, the Hellfire Gala starts, and go ahead.
I'll just add one more because we got to give Black Boltigar, whatever his full name is, some credit. He also had a pretty awesome series where he was in a prison and he didn't have access to his powers.
It was him and Crusher Creel.
Creel, yeah, that was I don't remember who wrote it. It came out maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I believe, and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I actually remember.
I thought. Go ahead, old man.
No. I was just gonna say I remember reading that and like really loving how great it was. It was written. Oh, actually, don't Hold on, I'm actually looking it up now because I'm pretty sure I have it. It was written by Saladin Ahmed. He's also the same person who is going to be writing Daredevil #1 this month, and he also wrote Miles Morales Spider-Man, not the one that's going on now, but the previous one.
I thought Forge was in the vault. Wasn't he stuck in the vault?
Nah.
No, not now.
He was there to rescue Laura, who had been in there for centuries, and he got out and saved her and brought her back to the current reality where her name is Talon, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, let's just say his time in the vault, or the things that he took out of the vault, have come back to bite them in the ass pretty seriously during one of their worst times. But yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah. So after that, and to Javi's point, Javi brings up what Forge was talking about, and about him like trying to like revolutionize like homelessness and like trying to get like abolish homelessness, not revolutionize, but abolish homelessness. And just as before that, because I know Javi wants to discuss this, two of the gods, acronym gods, were at the Hellfire Gala.
They just showed up. And that's why I'm excited about them, because they seem extremely overpowered, but extremely chill. Like, nobody just shows up at a Krakoa event, even though it wasn't at Krakoa, but nobody just shows up and just swings their dick around the mutants. I mean, till directly after the Hellfire Gala ended, but we'll get to that. But they came in, they were like, yeah, we're here. Checking things out, and stay tuned, because we're probably going to beat your asses pretty soon.
Yep.
So,
and
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the who.
Yeah, and Orchis did the damn thing. They had planned this. They planned on invading the Hellfire Gala for probably like months, if not years. And the first thing they did was
So are we going to get into the Red Wedding part of this gala?
We're about to get into it. So they first thing they did was they send the Avengers out of the way. They send them over there like, a senator's being attacked, and It's like, Captain America's being attacked. We have to get all these people out of here. And like, so they got anybody out of Krakoa that could help them. And then they announced the new lineup: Talon, Sync, Cannonball, Prodigy, Frenzy, Dazzler, Jubilee, and Juggernaut.
So excited about that team.
Yeah,
to be honest.
super dope lineup, super like eclectic, like, you know what I mean? Not people you put in there. And then all of a sudden, boom. Javi, take it from here.
Bro, Nimrod came and made X-Men suit. He made smashed X-Men. Like,
Nimrod came in and crushed the building.
Like, literally destroyed everybody with one hit. Friggin' crushed Juggernaut's skull in, which I didn't even think was possible. And then not Nemesis, was Dr. Stasis, who is I think he's the original Nemesis. I don't even know at this point.
He's not. That was during one of the side before the Fall of X comic books. We find out that he's actually a clone as well. The original,
he's a clone.
Yeah, the original is actually Nathaniel.
Okay, right. So his plan is just miraculous. Moira ends up stabbing Jean Grey in the
Robot
back.
Moira.
Bro, who I love. She's probably my favorite villain at this point.
Robot Moira.
Moira. Let's just say, bro, we were anticipating Krakoa falling. I thought it would have something to do with Destiny and Mystique, but they fell, bro, and they fell hard. They fell extremely hard.
Yeah, and an Iceman who was putting a whooping on Nimrod, but they had a plan for him and essentially just melted him.
Yep, I never seen that. Like they just, it didn't matter who you was. You could be the most powerful mutant at that point. They had a plan for you, and they actually ended up forcing Xavier to mentally control any mutants that did not have his triangle protocol in place. Red Triangle protocol in place. He actually forced every mutant on the planet through Krakoan gates to an unknown location. And they left him stranded in Krakoa by himself. Moira X letting him know that she wanted him to know that all of this is his fault. So yeah, so we're at
They
a
gave him
point
an
now.
and so she gave him an ultimatum.
Yeah.
MODOK had found a way to take the Krakoan drugs that extend the lives of people, and for like some tune he used that made them kill themselves. They made humans kill themselves, and if Xavier didn't force the mutants to leave, then MODOK was just going to kill more and more people. So Xavier mind controlled everybody and told him to stop, and he surrendered.
They fake killed Mystique though.
Well, we don't know what's going on with Mystique. Has she come back yet?
I thought I was reading something where they said like they had Mystique go through there on purpose because they needed her for something.
Well, I know she's not dead because she's going to be part of Uncanny Spider-Man, where Nightcrawler is going to be posing as Spider-Man, which makes sense why he's posing as him now, since he can't be seen as a mutant. And one thing that should be read was, what is it, Mother Righteous. Nathaniel Essex copied himself, Mr. Sinister, Dr. Stasis, in, sorry, I can't read from where I'm at, spacefaring versions of himself called Orbis Solitaris. He did so because he sought to dominate all life in Sickheart, but he also caught with visits of his wife, Rebecca Essex. Her name was Mother Righteous, and her seat of power lay on the astral plane. Not a soul alive knows why she'd stolen away and trapped Krakoa's Atlantic Island in her lantern, or why. I think that's where all the gates to Krakoa went.
Went where?
Mother Stasis has them in one of, because they said
no. So they addressed this in one of the books. I forget which books.
Immortal X-Men.
She only has a part of Krakoa, like a small part of Krakoa.
Yeah.
The gates went somewhere else because wherever the fuck Exodus is not on Krakoa.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it looks like it could be a part of it. Like, she took a part of Krakoa, like the island, like the desert part of it, and then I think she sent them there. Use her magic to send it to a secluded part of Krakoa, and now she's just keeping it in one of her like orbs or whatever, or lanterns, whatever they call them. So I think they're just on some like weird magical plane that Mother Righteous is holding, because the look on her face when it happened, it kind of looked like worried, not really worried, but kind of like it was secretive, like she knows something's up there. And the issue you're talking about, the last issue of Immortal X-Men, I think that was 13 or 14. But
is that where what's his face thought he owned Krakoa and had all the money, and then he didn't get shit, and they found out Kingpin owns it?
That was hilarious. Man, yo, Sebastian Shaw is the worst villain ever.
He really is. Dude was like, "Here, you can have my powers," and they Gene Wilded him. You'll get nothing.
And go exploit the island, right? And then you have, yo, listen, Orchis made a mistake, bro. Yeah. Orchis made a real bad mistake. Like, the mutants, nobody cares about killing people anymore. Like everybody's getting murdered.
Yo,
Xavier's killing people. Captain America's killing people.
Dog, Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde is friggin'.
Why is Kitty Pryde being such a bitch?
What do you mean?
She's being a bitch to Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
She's hurt. Like she's hurt, and she feels like she failed, so she's lashing out against everybody.
Yeah.
Kamala Khan ain't do shit to her. She being such an asshole to her.
She is, but again, like, hurt people, and like she really doesn't. And she probably feels that like she should have found a way to save everybody, and she couldn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what's funny? It's her reacting to Kamala Khan is very old school Wolverine. Like, that's how he used to react to everybody.
But that's what I think is gonna happen, bro. I don't think she's really. I don't think she really hates Kamala. Like, that wouldn't make sense. I think Brenda's right. I really think it's one of those situations like, well, I don't want you around because you're innocent and you're one of the best of us, and I don't want you to turn into me or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I agree with what Javi's saying. I will say this though. I think Kamala is going to be the one who actually is one of the big saviors during the fall of X. I think she's gonna like the way Rasputin 4 has been talking about her. It seems like she's got like some big crucial moment. I think that when it comes to an end, she's gonna be the one who does it. And there's also a series called
Yeah, she's gonna get her Green Lantern powers in the comic books.
yeah.
Well, we don't know what her mutant powers are yet, right? Like, because it's not going to be. It's probably going to be similar to what we see in the show, but it's not going to be. Obviously, it's not going to be the same. So we still don't know what the extent of her abilities are outside of her inhuman abilities that came from the Terrigen mist. So
Yeah. I'm trying to fix there's the X-Men are they're doing something else and it's called like the new X-Men or the all new X-Men or all young X-Men or something like that. But I feel that they're going to switch it up and they're gonna make Kamala like the leader of like a new X-Men, or they're gonna create a whole new team. And I think it's gonna be Kamala, Kamala, Kate Pride, Logan, and probably one other like random and a few other like random mutants. But that's supposed to be.
Bro, I love y'all so much because I was gonna be. I didn't mean to. I just got distracted. I was gonna be at this fucking game and I didn't go because I wanted to talk to y'all, and it was worth it, even though this fucking shit was amazing. Colorado won the first game with Deion Sanders against the Tinos in the national championship last year.
That was so goddamn random. They just I don't know what the fuck is going on.
No, Colorado went 1-11 last year. They won 3 games in the last 3 years. Deion Sanders shows up, brings his son, brings Travis Hunter, and a bunch of other people. They're playing TCU, which is right down the street from me, who was in the national championship last year, lost to Georgia, and they just beat them 45-42. And Deion Sanders' son, his first game on Division 1A level, just set the Colorado passing record, 510 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Damn.
Love it.
This shit was incredible.
Love it. Love it.
And Travis Hunter, who's the number 1 recruit in the high school, who went to an HBCU, left with Deion. He plays both ways. He played 130 snaps. He played every snap at corner and wide receiver and had 2 touchdowns and an interception.
That's actually some Deion Sanders shit, but just kind of funny.
Yeah. This shit is crazy. I didn't mean to cut in. I was just watching it and they just stopped them on 4th and 9 and took over. So let me ask you this about the Fall of X. All these miniseries are 4 issues, like Dark X-Men, Kamala Khan.
Alpha
yeah,
Flight.
they're all 4 issues. So do y'all think usually there are little things like X of Swords and all the different ones last like a year. Do you think this Fall of X is going to be much quicker?
Oh,
the big event's gods. So everything is moving to that. Every most issues like so what do you call it? The Immortal Thor, Hulk, Fall of X, a couple of other books. It seems like they're all Doctor Strange. They're all leading to this gods event. That seems like that's going to be the big one that's coming up next.
Yeah, and I think the first issue of Gods or whatever it is, I think it comes out with the new issues coming out after we record.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not gonna lie, the Alpha Flight book was pretty good too.
Didn't read that one.
Did anybody ever care about Alpha Flight?
Nope. I sure hell don't.
In the 90s, they were pretty popular.
I hated Alpha Flight. I've always hated Alpha Flight. But I bought this one just because it was like Fall of X tie-in. And I actually enjoyed it. It was you could see where everything was going, but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah. Are you reading Wolverine's book? Because I tried to, but it had nothing to do with Fall of X.
Not yet, no. But of course I'm reading Fall of X. I mean, of course I'm reading Wolverine. What else has been pretty good? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter has been fun as hell.
I didn't even know that was out.
Yeah, issue 3 just came out this week. Black Panther by Eve Ewing has been phenomenal.
Great. I love it. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely.
So the one thing I didn't think I would like it, but I'm starting to actually like the concept.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that like they've been fleshing out Wakanda for a while now, right? But up until this point, Wakanda seemed like a utopia. I mean, other than the political stuff, right? It was pretty fucked up politically, but Wakanda seemed like one of those places like if you live there, you're straight, like Sweden or something, right?
Yeah.
But I like about this book is that it's showing that no matter how technologically advanced your society is, no matter what form of government your society is accustomed to, right? When your society grows, and we're learning this with Krakoa, as your societies grow and time passes by, your systems can't account for everything, right? And there's always going to be people that slide in the cracks. There's always going to be people looking for advantages. There's always going to be crime. And
Yep.
the fact that we're seeing Black Panther as like a street level superhero for Wakanda, dealing with Wakandan problems outside of anything that has to do with anything outside of Wakanda is pretty friggin' dope, bro. And it's you don't see a lot of unique things happening in comic books, but this is pretty dope.
Yeah, they even have like a they're doing like a made man kind of thing going on. Like they're talking about old money and new money. I'm really enjoying like everything about this. I really love T'Challa's new Black Panther suit.
That's so far. Yo, I don't know if you got this reference. So the town that he's in, the I guess this could be considered the most crime infested town in Wakanda. And keep in mind, like it's crime, it's pretty dangerous, but it still has that Wakanda sheen to it. Like you see
Yeah,
some like people, um, but the fact that that town is named after
T'Challa's
T'Chaka,
father. Yeah.
right? And then when you look at like streets in the United States, like MLK Boulevard,
Hmm.
Malcolm X Boulevard, those tend to be the ones with the worst reputations. So I wonder if they actually
Oh,
that's a rough that I kind of caught that, and I'm like, I wonder that would be pretty dope if they did that.
I didn't catch that at all. I didn't catch
Yeah.
that at all. Brandon, you brought this up in the group chat, and it's definitely something we need to talk about. Iman Vellani's debut as a writer in Miss Marvel: The New Mutant was dope as hell.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good. I thought, obviously she has some help, but that's what happens anytime you get a new first time writer. They always get some help. Like when
yeah.
CM Punk wrote Drax.
What was it? The other writer is Sabir Pirzada.
But she's like a big time Marvel stan to begin with. Like she was like a huge Marvel fan, and that's she really wanted that role. And so I heard that she like be telling Kevin Feige about shit that they don't have to line up with the comic books and shit about other characters.
I fucking
And
love
so
that.
and so like of course she would be great at this. And of course she understands that character.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
I
she's
thought it
on
was
point.
great.
So.
I
yeah.
hope I hope Miss Marvel gets a full-time book coming out of this, and not just a miniseries. Is my
I
hope.
think, like I said, she's gonna be in the new X book. That is, I will, I that's one of my guaranteed things. Like she's gonna be on one of the new X-Men teams. She's gonna be the focal point. I wouldn't be shocked if she was like the lead. I would love to see her leading a bunch of like young X-Men that we don't normally get to see, like Mercury and Surge and Rock Slide. Not Wrong Slide. I want to see Rock Slide back. That was my guy. A Null, like characters like that. Like having her lead a team like that would be super dope.
I don't think she's gonna lead anyone. I think they're writing her like the new Kitty Pryde. I think they're writing her like how they wrote Kitty Pryde in Days of Future Past and coming out of that. How they
Oh,
wrote
okay.
Jubilee in the mid-90s. Like I
Okay.
think she's gonna be that new character because you remember Kitty Pryde was incredibly popular when she came out. And then Jubilee in the 90s was crazy popular. And
Yep.
I think they're trying to do that with Miss Marvel to book in with her TV show and the movies. Because honestly, she's the second most popular new character Marvel has. Like outside of
Yeah.
Miles Morales, she is the second most popular, like recent, last 20 years character that they
Yeah.
got.
And
And they want to keep pushing that forward.
I was saying to a buddy of mine, if they didn't drop the ball with that Avengers game, Miss Marvel probably would be as popular, if not more popular than Miles Morales. Like, because I
Yeah.
thought that because her character in the game was super dope. It was super fun. Like the character's abilities and skills were great. It really reflected what Miss Marvel Kamala Khan does and who she is. But there was just it's fun if you like button mashers, but like considering the other like comparable games that we've had, like the Arkham series and the Spider-Man games, like that it was just not good. You know what I mean? Um I can't wait for that. There was a really sweet moment between her and Bruno, and that was worth the price of admission right there. Anybody who hasn't but wants to buy Night Terrors, the main series, don't bother. It was not worth the money. The side stories are great. The side stories are really good, but that main story was garbage. I kept putting out hope that like, oh, it'll be good when it ends, and it was just like I'm not gonna say it was garbage. It kind of just fell flat. Like, you know what I mean? There were some good moments. There were some good things. Amanda Waller now has a couple like more magical baubles to help her fight against the Titans and all the other metahumans in the world. But it seemed like it would have been better off if it wasn't like a complete crossover. You know what I mean? Because it's like I think they halted most of the books over the last couple of months because of this series, and it just wasn't it.
I've been watching YouTube videos to keep up with that because I wasn't buying that. Like,
smart.
First of all, DC, I hated DC for last year except for Nightwing. I just started getting into Tom King's Wonder Woman 800, which was fantastic. The new Superman run with Joshua Williamson, I'm really loving. I always love Nightwing. So I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get into this shit. And then they just stopped
tell you right
for
now,
this bullshit.
Action Comics has been really good as well. Is it Rosenberg who's doing? No, I think it's Chip Zdarsky. Yeah, Chip Zdarsky is doing Batman, and he has been he's been putting Batman through the shit. Like after Alfred died, he's just been getting worse, and like he's been getting.
Did you see the shit with Selena?
Yeah, it's gonna be really good.
With Selena fucking taking all the henchmen to fucking rob rich people only.
Yeah, I was like, it's funny because part of me is like, I ain't mad at it, but I'm also still kind of like, crime is crime, and we also know that like you're teaching them how to be criminals, but that doesn't like you teach them how to be better criminals. That's not really going to stop them. Eventually, they're going to get greedy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I need to get back in my DC reading, but the last
no, you don't.
The last thing I enjoyed with DC was Deceased, which was excellent.
Oh, Deceased was so good.
So fucking good. Like that was so good. But other than that, bro,
Justice Society's good. They brought them back. I mean, that's Jeff Johns is writing it. So that's been good.
I started Batman / Superman World's Finest because they're revisioning how they meet each other, and the first issue was good. But Mark Waid's a pretty decent writer, so I'm not sure.
I meant to ask y'all, did you ever read the Grayson series?
No,
did you ever read Grayson?
You want to hear something funny? I own it. I just never read it.
So I have all of those in hardcover, and I because that was one of my favorite books of all time. And when we were moving, and I didn't have before we had the internet, I just started reading Grayson again. And god damn, that book is fucking great. That was when he wasn't Nightwing. Right? Yeah, he was a spy. And he was Grayson. He wasn't Nightwing. And it was fucking incredible. So anybody listening, go check out Grayson on the DC app or whatever the fuck you can. It's it's so great. I forgot how great that was.
Before we get into my smash or pass segment, both of you guys read the third issue of Ultimate Invasion, right?
Yes.
What'd y'all think about that? Because I know the first thing I did before I even finished the book, I was like, I need y'all's opinion on what Reed Richards and the rest of their, like, I guess if you want to call them like an Illuminati or a Cobalt. Cabal. Thank you very much. And his cabal of like nations, what they were doing and like taking turns on who would be the evil person here. And I was just like, and I asked you like, how do you guys feel about that? And what do you guys think?
When you say Reed Richards, you mean the maker?
Yes, sorry, the maker.
Okay. Yes. So one, Jonathan Hickman's the best writer of all time, in my opinion.
The GOAT.
I can't I can't explain. Like, if he just puts his name on it, I will purchase it. I don't give a fuck who it is or what it is. Secondly, that shit was fucking wild. That was very like some political diplomatic like shit. Like we're gonna cause this fucking we're gonna be the villain of the world. Yeah, we're gonna be Russia, and then Russia is gonna spend the next 20 years apologizing, and then we're gonna be Brazil, and then they're gonna spend next year apologizing, and then we're gonna, that shit was kind of crazy about that. The Maker is a fucking demon. Because on that first issue, right, they show like all the people in the universe that he's like basically either got control of, or that's like deceased, or that's like not a factor in that universe. And he basically set it up in a way where he can just run shit like however the fuck he wants to run shit. But he's very arrogant, right? Even regular Reed is arrogant. So he's going to make a mistake.
He's Reed with no moral compass at all.
Yeah, he's going to fuck up and make a mistake with one of these things. And so I'm interested to see where he fucks up at, but not yet. He hasn't fucked up.
Well, the thing is, so the interesting part about this whole cabal that's set up. So real quickly, the Maker set up a system in which the world can rally against an enemy of their choosing. So one country for a few years or whatever will be like the enemy of the world. So instead of the people focusing on what's actually happening, they're focused on this one enemy. And then they just kind of switch up who's the enemy of the world ever so often. The interesting I'll go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The interesting thing about that is like it's one of those things where a lot of people believe the world actually works like that. And it's not entirely wrong, right? It's not entirely wrong, but it's totally wrong at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? So, in the real world, right? Like people tend to get distracted. It's not necessarily manufactured that way. It's just the way, like, how all of our differing political systems and agendas tend to coalesce into like this soup of diplomacy and war and whatever and everything in between that. Now, what's interesting is that the Maker was able to harness that natural cycle in a way in which he's able to control the hearts and minds of the people of that world, right? In a way in which it doesn't seem too evil. Like it's that in a lot of ways, that world seems a lot more peaceful than the normal 616.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
Right? And it just so happens to be controlled by probably the most evil person this side of Dr. Doom. Right? Yeah.
I don't. But you know, the funny thing about it is I don't really look at Dr. Doom as evil. He is just super misguided, because there was an issue with the Fantastic Four. Another issue, I was like, "Yo, Javi, you need to read this." When Dr. Doom found out that no matter what he did, the outcome of what Reed Richards did was right, and there was nothing he could do to change it. He kept going further back in time and everything, and he kept losing, and he couldn't accept the fact that he lost. It was just like, oh, I lost, and that was it. Like, the Maker would destroy the world to prove that he was right.
Well, and I'll go to this too. I think this is kind of a tangent, but I was going to compare the Maker to a couple of other villains. Like the Maker as a villain is written so well as a villain that in order for their plans not to work, like the universe literally has to work against them.
Yeah.
Doom is one way, the Maker's one way. Like there's no reason why the Maker can't just chill in this universe of his creation and just whatever. But for some reason he's gonna do something crazy that's gonna like invite people from other multiverses to like fuck up his plans.
Yeah, he's
right?
a walking what if comic book.
Yeah, essentially. But I think it's like that kind of like I like that a lot. Like again, Hickman is a genius, bro. He's a genius. And like his political commentary, I fear it sometimes because in a way it's an oversimplification. And it does kind of like give it kind of justifies some people's worst impulses and ideas when it comes to how governments work. Because it's not totally off, it just takes what we have in reality and twists it or takes it to its extreme. But it makes for excellent writing, bro. And if you're really into politics and stuff like that, it's some of the best writing. It's some of the best stuff you'll be able to like get your hand on when in the comic book form. So
I agree.
And Jonathan Hickman is very much into politics. Like I listened to his interview on Cerebro. Go listen to Cerebro to hear Jonathan Hickman talk about politics and how he grew up in South Carolina. He grew up in South Carolina, and that's a big thing to him. And he got mad about like people complaining about politics being in books, and he was like, "I'm going to put politics in all of my books." And he says, "I started this as Orchis being a fascist organization, and I want people to know that it's a fascist organization, and I'm going to use examples from what's going on today to have Orchis do that shit, so people know that we got fascism going on in real life, and Orchis is trying to be like that." Like, he was very clear and like what his plan was when he started the X-Men with that. And so same thing with this. Like, it's very clear what he's saying and what argument he's trying to make. It's also like very similar to the Injustice world, whereas like the Injustice world was completely safe too, because Superman led by fear and took all the nukes from everybody and made sure nobody could do shit, right? And so like they didn't have much violence either. And you see that in a lot of comic books, like we just talked about with the Catwoman series, right? Catwoman's crime is down like 70% in Gotham because Catwoman took all the henchmen who were just working for these bad guys for money, a lot of them, and basically say, "Here's what we're going to do. Y'all listen to me. You can't fuck with no middle class people. You can't fuck with no poor people. And you can't kill people. But you can rob the fuck out of any rich person you want to rob because it's a victimless crime. Because if they have $10 million and you steal 1 million, they're going to be just fine the next day. No one's going to be hurt, and you'll be just fine." But the problem, and so crime went down. But what happened? One of the rich people had a fucking gun, and when they got ran up on by a henchman, they shot that nigga. And so he couldn't, because they knew that he couldn't shoot them. The rich woman knew they wouldn't shoot them because that's their rules, that they can't kill nobody. So she pulled the strap out and shot them. And so that's what pissed Batman off, because Batman was like, "I knew this shit couldn't fucking last." And it's true. Like, even when you do these things, like the biggest problem with the world is just people, right? So you can try all these things to control these things, and it'll work for a while, but eventually people are going to people. Yeah. And that's what happens in all these books.
And I think you see that with Hickman, and you see that so clearly. And that's why you can tell when somebody actually like understands politics in their writing. And you could tell Hickman understands it. Because if you ask anybody who's like a political science nerd, they're not going to blame necessarily government or like the Illuminati. They're going to put a lot of like the blame of what's happening in the world on us, on just individuals, like our own instincts and agendas all working for and against each other. You know what I mean? So it's like, any problems you see in the world today, bro, like look in the mirror.
That's what I was going to say. For as long as me and Javi have been brothers, and the same thing goes for you, Brandon, one of the things that I've noticed with anybody when it comes to like when they're a political science major, they put the earnest on themselves. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of like self-reflection on like, what can I do, as opposed to just pointing the finger at somebody, knowing not pointing the finger at somebody, because that doesn't really do much of anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, am I a conspiracy theorist? Fuck yes. Like 100%. But I also understand that there's a lot of things going on that like I can change, and things that I can do, and I do the best I can to do it. So but that's also coming, a lot of that has to do with the fact of like, a lot of that has to do with the conversations I've had with y'all. Mind you, I haven't started drinking yet, so this is just my normal. I gotta start getting ready to go, but before we leave, I do want to play a game of Smash or Pass. Oh, Javi, I'm sending you 2 names to look up for the Smash or Pass, because you're not gonna know who either one of them are. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Smash or Pass, Sonya Blade.
What does Sonya Blade look like?
So looks like the chick from Mortal Kombat.
I know, but she looks different in every game. Which one?
We'll go with
some of them are more smashable than others, to be quite honest.
We'll go with the MK11 version.
No, I'll pass.
Which is essentially just Ronda Rousey. Let's see, Javi, what do you got? Yes, Smash or Pass?
Also, MK1 comes out in 2 weeks and it looks unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait.
You serious? It's like Melina without the dental issues.
So Sonya Blade, Smash or Pass?
Oh, Sonya Blade. I'm thinking
You think Katana?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, hell yeah. So Smash. Okay.
Chun-Li.
Yes.
100% Smash.
Jessica
is easy.
Jones.
Not comic book Jessica Jones. Kristen Ritter. Kristen Ritter is probably the only skinny chick I find attractive. So yes.
I would actually rather the comic book.
Yeah, I'm with Javi. I'm much rather the comic book version. Barbara Gordon.
Yeah, I got a redheads are kind of cool. She looks fun.
I kind of feel like Javi would say Smash, but they end up talking nerd shit so much until they both fell asleep.
Yeah,
I mean, if
yeah.
she's good enough for Nightwing, she's good enough for me.
even though her dad's a cop, Smash.
Domino and Deadpool 2.
Oh,
hell
what
yeah.
kind of question is that?
That's a
Zazie
crazy
Beats.
Zazie Beats is actually number one on my list. Like I love everything about Zazie Beats. She's like number one on my list. Jean Grey.
Smash.
Comic
sure.
book Jean Grey, yes. Sophie Turner, not so much.
I'm going the exact opposite of what I'm going. Smashing Sophie Turner and passing on Jean Grey.
Nah, but so man, listen, I have a weakness for tall women, and I think she's approaching 6 feet. So hell yeah,
5'7". I don't ask me why I know that.
Who's 5'7"? Who's 5'7"?
Jean Grey.
No, Sophie Turner.
Oh, so really?
She's tall.
Sophie Turner's tall. Yeah, she's tall.
Oh shit, really? I'm about to Sophie Turner height. Sorry, my phone's doing that thing. Yeah, she's 5'9".
She's tall. She's tall. Yeah.
I know Javi's answer to this, but I'll just ask Brandon. Emma Frost.
Yeah, Emma Frost is a MILF. She's got big fake titties, blonde hair. She's like a MILF from Brazzers.
Javi.
With an attitude though, with an like just, it's not even about that for me, bro. Like, bro, I love her so much.
This I did a podcast on we actually need to we need to do this. I did my top 100 comic book characters of all time. I need to do this with y'all just so y'all can tear it apart. Someone called Emma Frost the Step on Me Queen, and I can't unsee it. It's the funniest shit ever.
Bro, I would be her stub, bro.
Laura Croft.
Yo, we talking about triangle titty Laura Croft? or
I'm okay on Laura Croft. I'm good on Laura. And Angelina Jolie. Good on her too.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you there. I will say the one in the new movie was hot as hell, though. That movie wasn't even bad either. I really liked that movie, but I knew no one was going to go see it.
Bro, but Laura Croft's a colonizer, yo. She goes into indigenous areas and steals shit.
Yeah.
The old Laura Croft. The new Laura Croft, not so much.
And she's British on top of that.
Yeah.
The new games, they tried to fix that.
Rhea Ripley.
100,020,000,000%. Did you just see what Rhea Ripley put on Twitter?
No, but I'm gonna go see it right now.
She said they have the pay-per-view tonight. So you know how they have those special fold-up chairs like around the ring in like the first 7 rows or something?
Yeah.
Her face is on the chair, and she says, "Congrats to the lucky person who gets to sit on my face tonight."
Yo, you know what I love about Rhea Ripley? Her and Bailey, they understand what people think about them. Like, I posted a picture of Rhea Ripley on the Bam Smack Pow Instagram page just for just random character. And somebody posted "Crush Me Queen," and I busted out laughing.
Well, I don't know if Rhea realized this, but like someone posted a picture on their Instagram of like a picture of Rhea Ripley that they like jerked off on, and then tagged her, and then she shared it in her fucking story, and then people kept telling her like, "That's somebody jerking off on your picture," and she left it up there for like 8 hours or like 12 hours or a day or something like that. I don't know what happened, but I don't know if she knew it or didn't know it.
I firmly believe she doesn't give a shit, but somebody in her like team was like, "Look, I know you don't care, but you still got to take it down."
Did you see Bailey's picture at the Beyonce concert?
Of course I saw Bailey's picture at the Beyonce concert. Of course I saw it.
That's
you
big.
kidding me? I saw it on Twitter, and then like 8 other people sent it to me. I'm like, yeah. And you know I've been a Bailey fan for years, so I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Javi, smash or pass Rhea Ripley.
I went from terrified. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you had
Yeah.
a Mitch McConnell moment for a second.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm going through her pictures right now because you just sent it to me, and I went from terrified to I think I'm in love.
Yeah. And you know what else I love about it? Like, I love when she, like, whenever she pins a woman, like, it looks like she's fucking a missionary.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, she does do that.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley's on my list though. And she's embracing that everyone knows how hot she is.
But I'm afraid to stay past. Like I think like I feel like she would find me and beat me up, and then I'd fall in love even more.
Lastly, Bianca Belair.
Pass.
Of course.
I mean, no. Smash. Yes, that's the one. Thank you for introducing me to her.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bianca Belair is that girl though. Like, she's that woman. She's her.
Yeah, she yeah. Yes. Sorry. I'm sorry I have to yell, but yeah, she's stunning.
All right, before we go, something we haven't done in a while. Brandon, give us something we should be reading.
Void Rivals.
Oh God, that's so good. Thank you again, by the way.
I just read issue 3.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
That the ending hurt my heart.
Yeah, I want to know why the fuck she did that shit.
I don't know. We'll find out. It's sad because it's actually making me want to read the rest of the Transformer stuff too.
Oh, also read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I'm so mad I cannot tell old man what just happened.
How many issues are there?
Because 100 and something.
Jesus.
I think it's like 108.
And this is the new run.
Yeah, it just happened. I mean, I'm so mad. I just want to tell you what happened. It does. I don't think it would spoil anything, but what happened was like the coolest shit. They had a splash page on the last issue. That was like the coolest shit I've ever seen in Power Rangers.
I'm catching up little by little. Like, I just finished the the Drago, is that his name? Evil Tommy?
Yeah.
The Time Vortex.
Lord Draken.
Yeah. What was it called?
He was super popular. They were going to do a movie with him.
What was the name of that run called, Javi? Like Voice
Shattered Grid.
Shattered Grid. Yeah, finish Shattered Grid. Is what you're talking about now? Is that all still connected to that as well?
Yeah, it's all the same series. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then I might be catching up sooner than you think. But I'll make it a point to kind of get through that. I also read Teenage Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's actually it's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the Last Ronin too. That's coming back.
Yeah, they've already started with the new
with the new Turtles. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're doing a game for that too.
So that's exciting.
Javi, give us something to read.
So I have one thing to read and one thing to watch. The one thing to read, we talked about it today, Ultimate Invasion. I think the Ultimate Universe was severely underrated. Not necessarily due to what like the content, but the characters, and some of the story plots that came out of there that carry on to today. And I'm glad to see that it's not necessarily the same universe, but I'm glad to see kind of that feel coming back. And the maker, him and Doom, two of my favorite villains. So yeah. I'm enjoying that. And then to watch, One Piece, bro. I'm delightfully surprised, bro. One Piece on Netflix. It's probably, I'm enjoying that out of any of the anime. It's kind of related because it's related to mangas, but out of all the live action manga anime remakes that Netflix did, this might be the best, bro.
Brandon, you got anything to watch?
My Adventures in Superman.
Yeah, you've been praising that. So my picks,
it's the best shit of all time.
My two things to read: Immortal Thor #1 was fantastic.
Yes.
Loki is essentially non-binary, a non-binary god. I love it that Thor is just kind of embracing it, and Fandrel's embracing it. Hogan is just grim ass, you know what I mean? So that was cool. And I can't wait to see who Thor fights next, because whoever these older gods are, they don't look like they're to be fucked with. The other thing to read, Alyssa Wong's Deadpool. It's the best Deadpool series since Jerry Duggan started. As of now, it's in my top 3. It's Duggan way than Alyssa Wong's. Non-binary writer created a non-binary partner for Deadpool. You get a Deadpool symbiote dog. It's Deathstroke becomes like a dog auntie. It's everything about that is super dope. In terms of things to watch, I don't know. Minx. I haven't finished it. No, actually not Minx. Righteous Gemstones. Righteous Gemstones is probably the best thing on TV right now.
I'm glad you finally started watching it.
What do you mean started watching? I've been watching it since season 1.
Oh, I haven't heard you say anything about it. I
Oh,
did a whole
no.
fucking
Brandon
podcast
recommended
on
that
Righteous
joint, like,
Gemstones.
20 times. You didn't say nothing, bro.
What happened?
Brandon recommended that show like 20 times.
Are you
So
kidding
you
me?
didn't say
That's one of those shows I can't watch without Maria. That's like grounds for divorce.
that's
I
hilarious.
did a whole podcast on Righteous Gemstones. In fact, we had some old white lady call up and leave us a voicemail about how much she loved the fucking show, which is so weird that Righteous Gemstones brings like a 69-year-old white lady to listen to a podcast with 2 black people talking about Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones. It's perfection. So far, my 3 favorite things this year, show wise, has been Swarm, Righteous Gemstones, and Beef. Those are like my 3 favorite shows this year so far. Like Beef was, I was it Stephen Young and Ali Wong killed that show.
Yeah. Good movie. And Ali Wong is my celebrity crush, so I watched that.
Yo, someone called Ali Wong Asian Angela Bassett, and I busted out laughing.
So I gotta tell the wife this. Sorry. Yo, Shanice. Sorry. The wife is hi everybody. This is the wife. Somebody called Ali Wong the Asian Angela Bassett.
Who's Ali Wong?
Asian comedian. She was starring in Beef. Stand-up comedian. She's super great. She's super funny.
Her stand-up is she has 2 stand-up specials while she's been pregnant.
Oh yeah, 2 inches pregnant. Yeah. What was it like? Cobra?
Pregnant. Baby Cobra, and I don't remember what the last one was. But bro.
Yeah. You put me on because it was funny. Like I thought she was okay, but then you put me on to the 3rd one she did, and I watched it and laughed my ass off.
She's a beast, bro. She's a beast.
Went back and watched the other 2 and loved them.
She might be one of the funniest people in America, bro. Like at least top 5.
There was a comedian that I've interviewed on the show a bunch of times, Slade Ham, and he was talking about how she was used to open up for him, and he was talking about how proud of her he was because like she was one of the few comedians that was like I guess like a delightful person. And that made me happy knowing that like somebody like that you like was like would be like a good person. But,
like I'm generally like I'm in love with her. Like my wife know like it's common knowledge. Like I'm a married man. I would never cheat on my wife. I would never whatever. But I was so happy when I found out she got divorced because it was like I'm like, which is horrible. I'm a horrible human being for that. But you get what I'm trying to say.
All right. Before we go, there's something I've been trying to do that I keep forgetting to do, but I want to do a word of the day or word of the week before I go. And today's word is churlish. 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 Rude in a mean-spirited or surly way. It seems churlish to complain, if you want to put it in the sentence. So yeah, that's my word of the day. Or the week, whatever it is. I haven't figured out what it's going to be, but it is what it is.
Word of the show.
Word of the show. Thank you. There we go. I have 24 pages of words that I want to remember, and that's that. So thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, be excellent to each other, and don't forget to follow Brandon on That Cool Black Nerd on Twitter. Have you started your Ahsoka podcast yet?
Yes.
What's it called?
Rebels.
We was Rebels.
Yo, I don't know when you guys record, and I don't have any time for anything, but bro, if you need, bro, I need to be on one of those episodes. I just want to say.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do an Ahsoka wrap up on here, so which I actually can't wait for it. I'm gonna start watching Clone Wars. I'm gonna start watching Clone Wars next week too.
Guess what we're doing next, old man? The G-Men spinoff.
Duh. I need to be involved in that.
Yeah, we will.
When does that start? I think that starts soon, right?
It starts at the end of the month, September 29th.
What is it called? Gen V.
Yeah, Gen V.
Yeah, I'm all in. It's like you said, yes, September 29th. And soon after that, Rick and Morty starts, and me and Javi are gonna be doing episodical breakdowns of Rick and Morty. And as always, be excellent to each other. Peace.
Peace.
Damn it, Wade!